you're not going to be ready to fight that in a matter of years. So you're going to want 10 years.
I think 10 is ideal. 10 is
Yeah.
like, we're talking about technology and how it's advancing, like you mentioned. I think in World War II, even in 2008, even in modern warfare, 10 years ideally could, yeah, it usually, because you have to build it up. But with the fast rate of technology globalization, how quickly they can build and rebuild and remanufacture, um, I think 5.
Well,
And
you
5.
say that, but the European Union's shooting themselves in the foot. Because we said that you want AI and you want technology and you want business. What AI, what business, what enterprise does the EU have? Nothing. And they don't have even the energy capacity to do any of it, because they've severed the continental giant, and cheap energy, which had been subsidizing European competitiveness, which is Russia, because Europe was invaded by America in 1944 and they never left. And so we're a vassal to the United States of America, and they say, we're going to blow up Nord Stream, and you can't do that. Well, tough. Done. Now you got to buy American LNG, which is expensive and inefficient, because even if LNG wasn't so inefficient, you got to ship it across you got to refine it into LNG, ship it across. You got to have an LNG receiver, and you got to transform it and send it around, as opposed to just piping the gas straight from your neighbor. It's so we have this deindustrialization in Europe, where everything's becoming more expensive for Europeans anyway, because energy prices mostly, as well as poor conditions and EU regulations and market shrinking. So I don't think, even if they wanted to, 5 years, that's like if you go full chest to the wall, 5 years, what can you build up? Well, first off, the toy manufacturing capacity in Germany is greater than that of the military-industrial complex there, allegedly, or the arms productions. All right, you're not on a war footing, and you can't afford to. Now, finally, some of the things you mentioned, there's a common saying, common question, a common rhetorical question, which is, well, you know what they say about Weimar conditions requires Weimar solutions. And so we are seeing a lot of deep transformative political shift as all the decay is coming to surface, and it's modernity, which is wasting depth for shallow affirmations, eroding instincts, inviting this inevitable breakdown. It's bi-structural design. So this is what we've been talking about. Collapse 2025. It was never a prediction, but an ongoing diagnosis of this civilizational profligacy, a waste of moral, cultural, and instinctive resources. The decline, it's Collapse 2025. It's not a prediction, because the decline is already here, and it's what's most sinister is it's being disguised as progress. But it's the water we're swimming in. It's a slow motion waste, a decay, a collapse. It is where we are, and it's important that we stop pretending that the current order is salvageable. What we do in this podcast every week and on our channels is that we're mapping the terrain, we're sharpening the tools, we're planting the seeds for what does come next, hopefully giving some of that clarity, and giving you the information that means you can make better decisions. And one of those decisions is what they'll do is they say, oh, Putin's going to invade Europe. So now we have an excuse, a narrative to invest in weapons productions and to tax you more, and for you to say you need to accept reduced living standards because of we need to invest in our military. And by the way, I, the politician, own all the shares, or lots and lots of shares in Rheinmetall. And it's like, dude, I have no interest in going to war against Russia. I don't. I have no interest in defending democracy from the Iraqis to fall to the Iraqis to fall to the Iraqis. I don't care. You care because you're making a fortune out of it, and it's all narrative decline and profligacy. This is why empires fall, and again, we don't have a healthy civilization.
No, I mean it's decaying. But I mean the same thing happened, between World War I and World War II. So the same playbook, so to speak. Um, Roughly, it took 6 to 8 years for Germany to build up in order to fight, to begin the war phase. It broke down. The converting preparation started 7 years. They secretly built up their military, and like I said, this was in secret. So because they had treaties of Versailles, which prevented them from building up any type of military assets. However, there is no such treaties other than maybe the proliferation treaty, nuclear proliferation treaty. But apparently, both the United States and Russia have left that, so that's no
Well,
longer valid anymore.
USA, my understanding, failed so far to renew it.
Correct. It's not so much that it's that they canceled it or they decided not. It's just a matter of just it just wasn't renewed. But more or less, like I said, the with Germany, they really started ramping up. It took them 3 years to really build up their military for the beginning stages of World War II.
You're
It
talking
only took
1933 to 7,
to
or
33 to 36. That's all it took. 3 years. They secretly built up. They depleted their military, and it wasn't very modern after World War I. Because of the sanctions, they were forced to basically dismantle, similar to the Cold War, where that's part of that proliferation treaty, where they dismantled a lot of the weapons, the post-Soviet as well as the United States. It is what it is. More or less, when they went into a full wartime economy, this is while the war was going on. It took them another 3 years to build up the military power and infrastructure. So we're talking about back in the day where they had, like, this is the first stages of the Henry Fordism and the assembly line. So now it's automated. There's robots. There's, it is what it is. So I could say as much as 1 to 2 years could possibly create if they have the commodities available. Not in Europe. Europe is totally different. But the thing is, the United States have an airplane graveyard that sits in the western United States, and they have more than enough planes that are ready to commission within. They could be ready to be commissioned within days, weeks, months. Like they can be sending these planes all over the world or to Europe. And Europe already has these. A lot of these planes are old commission F-14s, 16s, you name it, stuff that's been decommissioned. They're already in NATO. They're already in they're locked into these they just basically plug and play. They just update them, send them, fly them over. The main thing is that like the United States has the largest air force in the world, and not only that,
Mhm.
but like the U.S. Army, the U.S. Air Force, the Marine Corps, the U.S. Navy. These are three of the like just between the U.S. Air Force, U.S. Marines, U.S. Navy. Those are three of the largest air forces in the world by themselves. Then Russia's like fourth or fifth, and then China. I mean, America has, and that's just what's active. That's not what they have in reserves in this graveyard and different stuff. So I mean, literally, America has enough surplus equipment, not just in the United States but around the world. Um, they can bring destruction upon the planet probably three or four times over, and we're not including the nuclear weapons and the technology and AI and all of the stuff that we have no clue about. There's stuff that's classified that like we have no clue that's available and ready to go.